Hello, this is a Council on Independent Fundamental Bible Doctrine. I'm doing my next video in the Amazing Word series, and today we're looking at more science. This video is titled Looking to the Stars, and we're going to see how some of the science that we know today to be fact regarding stars, was written in the Bible thousands of years before mankind discovered it. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's look at it. Job 38:31. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades or loose the bands of Orion? At first glance, one thinks they knew about star constellations in the ancient world, which they did. However, when you think just a little deeper, the amazingness of what the author had to understand to write this is truly phenomenal. What Isaac Newton discovered 4 centuries ago, the Bible knew about 4 millennia ago. This verse not only shows perfect understanding of gravity, but it also shows perfect understanding that the force of gravity is what holds heavenly bodies in place, which was not theorized till Galileo and Copernicus. And the verse also has understanding that one star constellation has stronger gravity and the other one has weaker gravity. One is bound and the other is loosed. This, of course, was not theorized by science until well after long-range telescopes could look at stars and see if particles were or were not being drawn to the star. This was not done till the late 1900s, maybe even close to our lifetime. The verse from Job, again written about 2000 BC, or maybe even before that. Wow, 40,000 years before, or that's a misprint. 4,000, I read it wrong. 4,000 years before science caught up. See, science has decided, they found that who shall bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades? Okay, the Pleiades is a weak gravitational star constellation. Or who shall loose the bands of Orion? Orion is a strong gravitational pull. See, and that is how the verse shows not only the knowledge of gravity, but it shows that 4,000 years before we had telescopes, the Bible knew which constellation had strong gravity and which one didn't. Okay? Amazing stuff. However, many are actually millions of more miles away from each other. Okay? Star constellations visually form patterns. Okay? But understand, not all of them are actually true constellations. Okay? Like, because they are millions of miles away from each other and not actually constellations, they just look like they form patterns from down here on Earth. Okay? Some of the different patterns that they form that we call constellations, we're just calling them, they just align because they're in a figure, or a pattern. They're not actually star constellations because one of them is closer and another one in that pattern is not even a member of an actual star constellation. It's millions of light years on past it. It's just we see it in a pattern because we're looking at it from down here. Here's the thing. The 2 star constellations that the Bible talks about, they're actually star constellations. So the Bible didn't even make that mistake. It's quite amazing. Most any other star constellations would not really be a full star constellation. So you see, again, the Bible just happens to say the science correctly thousands of years before mankind could even understand the words. Jude 13. Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Okay, there is only one place in the universe that light never penetrates, where darkness persists forever, and that is in a black hole. And the light of stars and suns travels through all space except for within black holes. This was written about 68 AD. Science finally caught up with the Bible in the mid to late 1900s when it finally theorized the existence of black holes, and even some years after that, the black hole's birth being linked to stars having gravitational issues. Okay, kind of like stars moving or wandering out of their place. Okay, but here it was in the Bible 2,000 years prior to a human even having the thought of their existence. The Bible just happens to state the correct science thousands of years ahead of its time. For this shall the earth mourn, and the heavens above be black, because I have spoken it, I have proposed it. Okay, in the daylight, what color is the sky? Blue. Okay, they couldn't see at night because the sun was gone. Okay, but they would think that the color was the same. It's just black because the sun's gone. When the sun goes out and you can see, it's blue. Okay, well, this is talking about the heavens above. And it's saying black. Okay, see, they didn't have space travel, 3,000 or 4,000 of years ago when this was written. Okay, how did they know space was black? They would have thought it was blue. They would have looked up and said, oh, the sky's blue. They would have thought that the sky goes on forever blue. But the Bible just happens to say it's black? You see? I mean, it's just like this stuff just gets nailed all the time after time. Jeremiah 32:22. As the host of heaven cannot be numbered, neither the sand of the sea measured, due to mathematics, the paths of stars can be plotted in the past and future. And science has found that during the time this was written in 700 BC, there were only about 5,000 stars visible to the eye, which could be comfortably counted if one desired. And of course, almost 3,000 years ago, the eye was all they had to see with. It was not till the 1900s, when the deep space telescopes could see further than the eye, that it was determined that there were so many stars that they cannot be counted. The writer had no way of knowing that there were that many stars in the heavens. But the Bible says it, and science catches up with it about 3,000 years later. It just so happens to make a statement about stars that ends up being proved correct by science thousands of years later. This happens over and over and over again and again and again and again and okay, all over the place. All right, that is looking to the stars. I will get this up. Thank you very much.